Bharata Abhyutanam Adharmasya Tadatmanam Smrjamyam Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya cha Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhamami Yuge Yuge. So these are very popular shlokas where the Lord is assuring us that whenever there is a decline of virtue, wherever there is an imbalance of dharma, then the Lord comes to set it right in the form of a avatar, a divine manifestation, or through the other humans also. Internally the Lord can manifest and ensure that there is that justice, especially to protect those who are following the path of virtue, the dharma path. Okay, contemplation. What is my response to injustices in society? So we see injustice all the time. Everywhere it is happening. Things don't seem fair. A lot of times we see this. So how do I respond? How do I process it? Okay, you all can hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear clearly.
Yes, Guruji, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to speak up. How do I feel when I see or encounter an individual or group being unfair and seemingly getting away with impunity, meaning without punishment? So here is where, the understanding of the law of karma is at a relative level. That is our strength, our thing which we have to take refuge in. Many times the society, there are a lot of injustices, but we might sometimes also get tempted. See, everybody is doing bad, even let me also do bad. Everybody is giving bribes and taking bribes and doing bad things, so let me also do it. So this is a response that comes when somebody doesn't have the long-term vision, or the scriptural vision. And then whatever is our instinctive things, just as how animals don't follow dharma all the time, right? Like that is a difference between humans and animals. Animals do act based on their impulses, but humans have this responsibility to act according to virtue, dharma. So this, in one of the scripture, it is said, the main difference in humans is they have the ability to distinguish or follow what is right and what is wrong. Dharma, adharma. So this is why, dharma is considered the one of the most important purusharthas at a worldly level. It is the more than artha and kama, because artha and kama, artha kama means the worldly pursuits and desires. These everybody seeks, just as how animals will seek, everybody will seek in the world. But dharma purushartha, seeking virtue, good and bad. So and this is why religions are sometimes called as dharmic. Dharmic is a name in Sanskrit. Generally, when we say sometimes this dharma, that dharma, so that is the religion how they follow. Okay, then can I find solace in the Lord's promise? And then the other thing is that law of karma will be upheld, and that not just that if I am following the path of righteousness, I am following dharma, I should have that assurance the Lord will look after me. Paritranaya sadhunam. So my responsibility is to follow the righteous path, the correct path, no matter what the challenges are. Because the dharma is that force which keeps everything in balance. So as long as I go with that force, that I will have the protection. Can I use it to find a sense of inner acceptance when faced with circumstances wherein outer change is not possible? So sometimes, like governments, if there are governments which are things, so we may not have individual capacity to make those changes. So at that time, what then that sense of acceptance and that still continuing to walk the path of righteousness. Not just we accept and we just just, resign. It is not a resignation. So there is a difference between surrender and resignation, meaning resignation meaning a passive submission versus an active act of surrendering to the higher forces, the Lord. Okay, all right. So we are looking at the 4th chapter, and so we have discussed some concepts so far, and we are still continuing to discuss some concepts, which is essential for this and this chapter especially, and the later chapters which will come also, especially chapters 10, 11. There is a way how we understand Paramatma, Atma. Somebody had also asked a question. So what do we say about Paramatma, Atma? How is it different? How is when we say Jiva sometimes, individual, how is all this different? So there are some concepts, and let me see if I can show today a few concepts related to these things. We'll first rehearse this and then we can. Okay. So now let us look at this. See, this we have when we talk about that supreme consciousness, the supreme reality, we usually call it as unconditioned Brahman, meaning it is nirguna or nirupadika. Nirupadika we say. Nir means no. There is no limitation, no form, no adjunct. It is free from everything. And that is the supreme reality. So this is the supreme reality. The ultimate reality is this. And here there is no distinction between you, me, and not. There is no distinction between you and me. There is no distinction between us and the world. And there is one more thing. There is no distinction between us and Lord at this level. So this is what we call as the Paramaarthika Satta. This is the Paramaarthika real Satta, meaning it is the ultimate reality. So whenever we discuss at that level, whenever we discuss at the level of ultimate reality, we have to know we are talking about the unconditioned Brahman. There is nirguna, it doesn't have any gunas. Right? It is nirupadika, it doesn't have any adjunct. Now, that same reality is spoken of here in that sense. Many times it will be spoken of as conditioned Brahman. What is conditioned Brahman? When we talk of conditioned Brahman, that means there is saguna. There is a guna that has attributes, that Lord has attributes. And not just that, it has some kind of a upadhi. So what is the upadhi of this conditioned Brahman? What would be the upadhi of when the unconditioned becomes conditioned? Meaning, what is the limiting adjunct for it?
Maya.
So Maya is the upadhi. So when we say unconditioned Brahman, that means Ishvara. So of course, people based on their belief, they'll give different names like Narayana and all this Paramatma and all that. But in Vedantic words, it is called as Ishvara. So that Ishvara with that Maya. So when we talk about Ishvara, he's always with Maya. So the condition, that pure Nirguna Paramatma, when we talk in a conditioned way, we talk of it as with Maya. So that is Ishvara. Vishwara, and that Ishvara is Maya. So when there is Maya and the Maya is manifesting, when the Maya is going outward, what happens? It gives that sense that pure conditioned Paramatma is now become multiple jivas. Jivas means individuals. All of us are in a way like jivas. So sometimes here, in order to qualify this, we say Jivatma. Atma in that sense is pure, but when we say Jivatma, it means a conditioned. It is an individual. individual thing. And then there is not just that, there is also Jagat. So this is like this thing, right? It creates this kind of effect. There is this effect of Jiva and Jagat created at that level. Now, what is Maya doing? I mentioned this. There are two forces of Maya. What are this? One is called Avarana Shakti. What is Avarana Shakti? It is the force of concealing. It puts this kind of a dark shadow, or it brings that darkness on that unconditioned reality. It brings this conditioned thing. So this pure consciousness, which I am, which you are, which everyone is, even the most evil person is this pure conditioned Paramatman, but in reality. But because of this force of Maya, there is now a concealment. How does this concealment work? What does it create? Anybody? When there is the force of avarana, when there is a force of concealment, what happens to the individual? What is the effect?
Avidya.
There is avidya. So at the individual level, what happens when Maya comes? There is ignorance. There is avidya. So the avidya is the first thing. And next comes from avidya, from that avarana, the next force of Maya is what? So all of you should remember this. I will keep mentioning this. I will also ask you all this. So you have to, these are the foundation through which we can go further. So these are the, what you call the learning blocks. So it will help us. Now when the Maya force comes, what happens? There is next force of Maya. Maya has two forces. First, it's like, if you're going in the dark and there are some robbers. They want to steal something from you. What do? They put some blanket on top of you. So then what happens? You are in the dark, and then they'll just not put you in the dark. They will beat you up. So that is because they want to take your money, right? So they will put a cloth over you, and then they will beat you up. So this is a Vikshepa Shakti. Now, what is the world? I am different from you. I have different problems. You have different problems. See, all the sense of multiplicity, plurality, these forms, these colors, and all this, right? So in a way, like when we look at rainbow, it is very beautiful, right? But the other aspect of colors is what? Then you're caught up in all this. I like this color. I don't like this color. All these things will come. This is the Vikshepa Shakti of Maya, creation. So that what does it do individually? It gives rise to these desires in us, different desires. Because now I'm an individual and I have lost this thing that I am full, I'm complete. That sense of Ananda, Satchit Ananda is gone now. Why? Because I'm an individual. I'm bound to body and mind. And this body and mind now has so many desires, meaning it not just desires, it has fears, it has angers, ragadvesha. Kama here means ragadvesha. I like this, I hate this. So this has come. From there, what happens? I will act. Karma. Now, when I act, what happens? When I do an action, what is the result of the action? Anybody? What does action do for me?
Karma.
Karma is action. What does it do?
Results in bondage and
Binds us.
definition. Samsara.
It will create bondage. Phala. See, every action will have a result. It's science, right? If you do anywhere also any action, you say something very beautiful to somebody, that person will say something back to you kindly or do something for you. You say something harsh to somebody, that person will yell at you. So this is the action and result. Now the bondage has come. So now the Maya is at full force now, meaning that the ignorance has happened. It caused this projection of this world, and now you are stuck individually. You have a different set of karma based on how you acted. Somebody else has different set of karma based on how they acted. So everybody is now caught up in their action and result. So now this is a loop, action and result. So you are acting, you will get result. By the time you experience the result, you will act again. So the cycle will go. Bhokta karta. You will experience the result, then you will act again on that. Okay, now this Jagat, let us understand this Jagat. Because these two shlokas came in the context of Jagat. So there are, now the concept has what? There is Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat. The triad is there. The Ishvara is a conditioned Brahman. He is also not pure Brahman, conditioned Brahman. That conditioned Brahman is now, through the force of Maya, created this Jagat, and all of us are experiencing this individual Upaadhis. I have a different body, you have a different body, I have a different set of mind, Sukshma Sharira, and you have a different set of Sukshma Sharira. I carry a different set of stock of karmas. You carry a different set of stock of karmas. So all this has now come in. Now, how is all this? Is this all chaotic? Is this all going on its own? No, this creation also is sustained by what we call as the dharma, the force of dharma, and adharma also. What is this force of dharma? This is nothing but the law of karma. Everyone is acting based on this law of karma. Now, many people say, we are talking from that highest pure level. We were talking at the higher pure. Where is karma in that level? There is no karma. So this is where, if you understand properly, when you talk of karma, we are already talking of the relative level. We are not talking at the ultimate level. So this is why, many times people are crisscrossing. Some teachers also you see nowadays who haven't studied properly, right? One time they'll say karma is there, one time they'll say karma is not there, one time. So all this is we have to properly understand. When we are saying karma, it is at the relative level. It's not at the ultimate level. I'm already experiencing as an individual. Now I need explanation. Why is suffering happening to me? Why am I not having that same fortune that the prince of England or prince of some country has? So now that is where, the law of karma is coming to explain at the relative level. Why are you having these effects? Okay, now Ishvara in the sense manifesting in Jiva and Jagat. Now, Ishvara manifesting in Jagat like a Jiva. We have also discussed this. What is it called? When Ishvara manifests in this creation, just like you and me, he will manifest. What is the name we can call for this? Somebody say something, I didn't hear.
Avatara.
Avatara. So that is an avatara. So now when we talk about Krishna here, and all that avatars I told you, Narasimha, Buddha, and all that avatars I told you. So they are what? There is that pure Saguna Brahma, that pure supreme consciousness, we discussed this, that Ishvara chose to be with Maya. He was not compelled. That pure Ishvara, that pure consciousness which chose to be with Maya is not controlled by Maya like all of us. That when that is manifest in this world, to what? To uphold the dharma, then is what that person is called as an avatara. So now this is the foundation on which we are looking at now. Couple of more points now. So the first thing is, does Vedanta and Gita and Bhagavad Gita here teach us about personal worship of God? So this is the thing to now consider. Now we are told here that the Lord is saying, I am that Lord, and the Lord will also talk later, like the many forms that Vishwarupa Darshana and all will come in later chapters, that one supreme reality. Now, are we told that this personal form is who we are worshipping? So this is the question. So here is where there is this concept which we will have to understand. And this is called as Adhyaaropa-Apavaada. This is a very important concept, especially when we study Vedanta and especially Bhagavad Gita many times, this will come. What is Adhyaaropa-Apavaada? In Sanskrit word Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, it is one of the way it is translated is deliberate superimposition, or a conscious kind of a naming, or a conscious a created concept, you can say, something which a concept we create this concept. Now, but it is not a concept which is created out of kind of ignorance, meaning. So we are talking about personal form of God. The explanation for this is this. The first one, there is a rope mistaken for a snake. You are walking on a dark street. I have told this example many times, and this is a very common example in Vedanta. So you're walking on a dark street and you see a snake. So basically, there was never a snake, but you mistook a rope to be a snake. Now, is this happening deliberately, or is it happening through certain things without your control? Anybody?
Without your
So
without your control.
we don't control that. We don't. This is happening without your control. So this is not a deliberate thing where you are superimposing the snake on the rope. It is happening without your conscious control. Now, another example. There is a photo of Ram or John or whatever we call this person. And this for Ram and John, for seeing that person called Ram or John, we show a photo of that person and we say this is Ram. So now what is happening? In that photo, we are saying there is Ram. So this is it. Does that person believe it that photo is Ram? So is this a deliberate thing or is it without our control when we take it that this thing is Ram?
It's this deliberate.
It is deliberate.
Deliberate.
So this is a deliberate thing where you know and that person also knows. That person also knows this is not Ram. The photo is not Ram. But you believe that this is Ram. Now this is the concept which Vedanta is using here to explain this concept of God, that pure unconditioned Brahman is now taken to be something here. So this is what is the first thing. When, let us say, from a religious perspective, let us say I'm a strict believer of Shiva as the only reality, or I believe in that Krishna is the only reality. Like we have these divisions in India, like Vaishnavites, Shaivites, and all that. So there, what they do, that is the only reality. Meaning they take that form of God is mistaken as the supreme reality. Meaning it is the only reality. We have in other religions also this thing, right? Like Jesus, Allah. We take that Jesus is the only reality. When Jesus is a reality, there is no scope for Ram or Allah or anything. So that is not how we, from our scriptures, it is taught. What is the way we take it is, we take the form of God taken as a pointer to the supreme reality. So when we worship Krishna or when we worship Shiva or when we worship Jesus, we are not taking that as the ultimate by itself. We are taking that as a pointer to that supreme reality. So when you have that understanding, then it is a conscious, deliberate imposition. You're consciously, willingly, and acceptingly taking that I need to believe in some reality higher than what I see in this world. So I take this as the supreme reality. And I consciously am willing to pour my heart, pour my attention, pour my devotion into this form, not believing it that if somebody is saying something about it, that this is not the God, I will go kill that person. No, not with that kind of notion. With that notion that this is a pointer and somebody else might have another pointer. So this is where, we say this concept in, especially in Sanatana Dharma, there is this opportunity for everyone to have their own Ishta. Ishta means your beloved form or aspect of divine, and it can be formless also. It doesn't need to be form always. It can be formless. Sometimes people say, I just believe in the sense of peace to be God, sense of love that is God. See, all this are also you are taking some guna or some attribute, or like as Ramana Maharshi, he believed in the mountain Arunachala to be the supreme reality. He took the mountain to be the God, or the supreme for him, pointer to the supreme. See, if you take it as a pointer, there is no problem. But if you take that and that alone is the truth, then you have to fight with everybody else. So Vedanta is not like that. It allows for this multiple concepts of God, and everyone can have according to their ishta. So this is where, now why I said this is to answer this question. So Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta is not exactly teaching us about a specific form worship, but it does encourage a personal worship of God. So meaning it does encourage what is called as the tatpada vichara. There is something you have to take as the tat, that supreme. And then you can say that supreme God and I as the Atma are one. So now this is where, when we say Lord, somebody was asking, right? So we are saying Lord in the sense of Lord itself. We are not saying as individual. But if the understanding is there, if the understanding is there of Tattvamasi, then when we say of Atma, it is the same as Paramatma. If there is sometimes when we talk of me as the Jiva and the God as the Supreme. So Vedanta, in Gita, we will come across these concepts more. We will not come across much in Upanishads, but in Bhagavad Gita, we see this a lot, where there is a lot of personal worship of God. There is the Lord himself will say, Manmana bhava, Madbhakta bhava. You have to take surrender, refuge in me. You have to bow to me, and all that the Lord himself will say has a path. Why? Because here the personal form of God and you are taken at some times to be different, because we are experiencing this multiplicity. So we need the refuge of something. So there the refuge is like given like this. But a deeper contemplation on that personal form of God can lead us to that supreme God. So this is the ultimate reality, that the Saguna Brahma is not different from the Nirguna Brahma. That Saguna Brahma is a manifestation of that Nirguna Brahma. So this way, we can agree with an atheist and say from a Vedanta perspective, yeah, there is no God, there is no personal God sitting there in a heaven and doing good, doing bad. There is no personal God. We can agree that. Yet we can also agree that there is a personal God that I have superimposed in order for me to give a pointer to that reality. So the both ways, so we can be a wise atheist and a what do you call, a deliberate theist. So both are possible from this thing. But yet at the same time, for sadhana, now I'll come to this part of sadhana. So this is the last thing. So what is the Gita's process for sadhana? I'll just mention this. So we talked about three things. What does at the end of it, now you may say, Swamiji, you told all this, but what does it mean to me? All this concept. So what do I do with it? Now there are three things that we have to take care. Right? We talked about this. There is avidya, kama, karma. What is Maya doing to us? Maya is putting a blanket on us. It is taking out our Satchit Ananda Rupa and putting us in ignorance and telling us, I am this body, I am this person with this baggage of karma and everything. And it is giving me this desire, fear, raga, dvesha, attraction, repulsion, all that it is giving me. And it is binding me to actions. And the Lord here in this chapter is talking about freedom from actions, karma sannyasa. So how do I attain all this? So now the three processes. So the first thing in the Bhagavad Gita, and this chapter is starting to reveal to us, is this prakriya. How do we remove avidya? This is a fundamental point. Anybody can answer this. How do you remove ignorance? Anybody?
Gaining knowledge.
Yes, knowledge.
Vidya.
So, jnana. So, this is a fundamental thing. This is a no-brainer. Meaning, but now the question is, what is the correct knowledge? So, I can get knowledge of something like, should I become a scientist to remove ignorance, or should I become a like a yogi, or should I become what is called now as here the prakriya? This is the starts of the Jnana Yoga Prakriya. So there is the Jnana Yoga Prakriya. This is the first fundamental step in breaking that core of ignorance. And this is where, the whole teachings, whether you need knowledge about who to worship, whether you need of whom you take Bhagwan to be, or that knowledge about what is the meditation you need to do. See, all of this starts from Jnana. So Jnana is the first level. Then there is Kama, desires. So this is at the level of day-to-day sadhana. So here is where the yoga prakriyas come in. This is, we can say, the Patanjali yoga or the Raja yoga. And most importantly, especially when we talk about desire and fear, what is it? It is an aspect of the heart. It is an aspect of emotions. And how do you work with those emotions? That is where this prakriya also comes of bhakti yoga. So here now when the Lord is introducing himself to us, he's expecting that little bit of that bhakti yoga as well. Dhyana yoga will come in the 6th chapter. But here he is also going to introduce what is called as the process of the bhakti yoga, meaning you have the sense that you are dualistic. You on a day-to-day basis, you are maintaining a separation from everybody, right? Because you know that I am separate from others. I have to maintain my separate bank account. I have to stay in the same house. See, all this is, we already have this individualistic feeling. So that jiva buddhi which we have is, how do you put that attention on something divine, something transcendental, something more bigger than you. So that is where the bhakti yoga has come. And then the last one, how do you free yourself from there is already a baggage you're carrying with you, baggage of karma you're carrying with you. But that baggage will get bigger and bigger. So how do you stop that baggage from getting bigger and bigger? So here in Gita, we are now taught what is called as the karma yoga. Okay, so these are the different kind of approaches. Now, when we talk here about Bhagwan's avatar, why did I bring all this point is when we talk about the Bhagwan's avatar. So the question now comes, is that avatar real, or is that avatar just a what we call like a Maya kind of effect? So here you see the first one. So this one. See the first point. Is the avatar at this level, or is that avatar at this level? Unconditioned level or the conditioned level?
Unconditioned level.
Yeah, avatar is at the unconditioned level. Is that correct? Anybody else?
Condition level. Because Ishvara plus Maya is what is avatar?
Correct. So it's actually at the condition level. Why it is condition level is that Ishvara is manifesting at the world level. But when we really look at it, as a person with the understanding of this one, Adhyaaropa-Apavaada. If you have the understanding of Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, is the avatar still at the condition level?
No.
No.
So this is the prakriya. So when you have understanding of the avatar, you don't a person who is wise, a jnani. A jnani's understanding of avatar is that is the nirguna Brahman, meaning that is that pure reality, the Lord. And does that when we say the Lord, are we included in that or not? Are we different from that Lord when we have that understanding of Adhyaaropa-Apavaada?
We are included.
Why we are included? How are we included?
Because we have the knowledge, we are no different from him.
And another way to explain this, how can we?
There is a deliberate imposition of the body, the mind, or this idea of Lord with us.
So that's true. Meaning that we are saying there's a deliberate imposition on me or on Bhagavan, on the Lord.
On the Lord of the body and the mind.
So that is there is a deliberate superimposition that the Lord has taken that body and mind. So this is what the shloka 9 is actually saying. I think shloka 9, where the Lord is saying that janma karma cha me divyam. See, janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvataha. One who truly understands the divine nature of my birth and actions. Tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna. So now you all tell me, how does this shloka explain that why is it I am not going to be born if I understand the divine nature of Bhagavan, of the Lord? Why is it that I am freed? When I understand that the Lord is not so and so, the form or the real thing of the Lord is that he doesn't take birth. When I understand that, how is it that I get freed using these concepts?
Because we also have these attributes. Once you know that we are free from Maya, we know that we are Nirguna, then we are same as God. For now, it's like the essence of God, and then we become one with God.
So using these concepts, how can you explain? What you're saying is correct, but how can you accept using this concept, Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, especially?
Like the
Swamiji.
photo.
Yeah. Who is it?
Yeah, Swamiji Ashok.
Ashok. Yes.
Yeah. So here, we individuals, if we realize I am the Atma and I am part of the Paramaartha, I am freed from my worldly attachment.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly correct. But now using this concept, this concept of Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, what is it that we are doing when you say that I become free because I'm part of Bhagavan, or I am that same consciousness as Paramatma itself? When we realize that, what is it that has happened in use basically?
Yeah. I've got the knowledge about that. Rope is rope only.
When we get rid of the ignorance and
Ignorance.
Yes.
when we're free from the cycle of life and death.
Correct. So what is the concept that we have used here? What is the concept that has
We can
helped us?
say since Ishvara is using Maya and the Ishvara or the Lord is the essence of the divine itself, we can come to the idea that Maya is there, which has kept us in bondage. So we can come away from it, realizing we are the same essence of Lord itself.
Yeah, no, that is correct, Varun. What I'm saying is, how did this concept help us? How did this Adhyaaropa-Apavaada?
Swami, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Flavia, tell me.
Can I say that I see that my mind and my body is just a superimposition?
That is what I was waiting. Correct.
That this is not real because it's just a superimposition. I am Atma, I am Nirguna on the end.
Correct. Yes. So it's not just my name is Nirguna, all of you are Nirguna. We keep saying. See, this is the superimposition that we have put on ourselves. Now, when I say that I am the body without knowledge, then I'm mistaking that rope to be the snake. I was not conscious of it. But now when I realize that when somebody comes and tells me, can you see that the rope which looks like the snake? Then that wisdom is started to come. That person is now saying that the rope looks like the snake, meaning he's already saying that, see, that rope which you were thinking you were, that snake you thought you were, was not really the snake. It was the rope in the first place. All along it was the rope. So now the same thing, which is a thing, not just Bhagavan. The helpful thing when seeing Bhagavan is, it's easier with Bhagavan. It's easier that Bhagavan is free from all these attributes. But we will never be free just because knowing Bhagavan is free from attributes. It's like saying, like somebody, one of my friend became very rich. You might be happy, but really, are you rich? You're not rich, right? So this superimposition this is a deliberate, this is an unconscious superimposition we have taken on. That I am the body, I am the mind, I have the karma, and all this is this is an unconscious superimposition we have taken on. Now we deliberately try to undo that by saying that this is the snake I was seeing. In essence, that Atman, as Ashok or somebody was saying, it's not different, or it is that essence of that same Paramatma. So here the Paramatma is here, that when we say Krishna is that pure Bhagavan, it is a pointer to us also. That we also, just like how Krishna came in the form of Jiva, but all along he was free. Similarly, we have come in this form as Jivas, and we have taken on all these things, but we are also of this pure essence. So that is what this shloka is saying. Like if you read this shloka, it says that. See, one who truly understands the divine nature of my birth and actions does not take birth again after leaving the body. Rather, he attains me. Meaning, he becomes one with me. He becomes the same nature as me. Bhagavan is free, meaning that even in the essence, we are also free. So this is the one of the things, and actually this point, this is a very this and the next shloka are important shlokas to help us understand this concept. So very briefly, I will just we will read this together. See, here it is saying, so what happens because of that? Vitaraga bhaya krodha Vitaraga Bayakrodha Manmaya Mamupashritaha Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Mad Bhava Magataha. So what has happens now? The bondage with avidya came what? Kama. Kama, karma, and all. Kama, and with kama means that all this attachment, fear, and all that. So that person is freed from all that also. Attachment, fear, anger, ragadvesha. And what? Taking refuge in me, meaning realizing that our nature is the same. Then what? Purified by what? The austerities of knowledge. Jnana tapasa. This tapas, we hear the word tapas. Doing a lot of austerities, practices, sometimes torturing the body, restraining the mind. All this is tapas. But here, what is the tapas? It is not the tapas of just torturing the body. This is the tapas for the intellect. Again and again, the intellect should undo the false superimposition. Again and again, when the intellect undoes this false superimposition, what does it happen? Madbhava magataha attains that same reality, that nirguna Brahma, that niropadika Paramatma. We attain that same reality. Okay, I think this is a lot of concepts today. If anybody has any questions, doubts, you feel free to ask. The reason I introduced this is because these are the building blocks. Okay, anybody has any
I have
question?
one question, Swami.
Yes.
For example, you talked about Dharma on the beginning,
Yes.
to follow the Dharma.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how can I know when I'm following the Dharma and not trying to follow my to follow my kleshas? For example, is there something that I can, like a feeling, or you know what I mean? How can I internally realize it?
See, this is where, Flavia, especially, this language is very common in many things where people say, follow your gut, follow your intuition, and all that. See, ideally, sometimes say, people say, follow your voice of conscience and all that. But in this process, that understanding what is my klesha and what is my dharma will not come unless we have done this jnana tapasa, this knowledge, this merging in that knowledge. How do we get this knowledge? From the typical things, you have to study that shastras with the acharya. Then what happens? Again and again we reflect on this. Then what happens? Slowly we get to understand the reality, the pure reality, and we get to also realize how slowly we are actually deceiving ourselves. So both are important, meaning just not a feeling, because that feeling which is not trained, feeling which is not soaked in knowledge can misguide us. So here, generally, when we say follow the dharma, it is ideally you start with some scriptures or some studies, and you contemplate on your own, introspect and contemplate on yourself. So both has to be there. And generally in the Vedantic thing, the study of the scriptures is the most important thing, partly because that, as he said here, the knowledge is the one that ultimately will free us from ignorance. And when knowledge comes, what does it do? It will change the karma that we've been doing before. So that is why, that steps we have to remember. What happens when there is the avidya, then it will give us the kleshas. When we say karma, it is nothing but kleshas only. So that kleshas will make me act in ways, and that karma will bring me bondage again. Okay, Anybody has questions on this Adhyaaropa-Apavaada? You please ask, because this is an important Vedantic concept. If you have that, then Gita and all texts are a lot easier. If you don't understand this, so this consciously Deliberately, we are taking Bhagavan to be that supreme. So when we say we are consciously taking Bhagavan to be the supreme, we have to understand in what ways are we doing that.
I just have a question.
Yeah, Jay, tell me.
The first example you gave on the Adhyaaropa,
Apavāda.
I understood. The second one, I didn't understand that when a person is showing a picture and telling me is a Ram.
First one is that unconscious one. It is not Adhyaaropa-Apavaada there. See, what does Apavāda mean? Apavāda means negating. Adhyāropa means imposing. So actually, I forgot to add that word there. It is deliberate, superimposition, and negation also. So when we say Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, what did we do? What was the first step in the deliberate superimposition? Was that so in that second one, there is only that you see that snake. The first one, you see that snake on that rope. So there, what has happened? The superimposition has happened. But now a friend comes and tells you, hey, that is a snake, that is a rope which looks like a snake. So what has happened now? The negation has happened. The superimposition was done. Your friend came and told you that this is not a real snake, but it's a rope which looks like a snake. Now what has happened? You become aware. Now that was an unconscious superimposition and negation. Both were unconscious. It was not in your control. But in the photo, what happens? You see a photo of a friend of Ram. So here what is happening, and that person knows, that who is showing it to you, that is not Ram. That is just a photo of Ram. When you meet that person, what happens? You realize, oh, this is the Ram I saw in the photo. Then what happens? The photo is negated in that sense. Consciously you knew at the time of superimposition. But yet, when you met that person, you again reaffirmed that, oh, this person is that Ram I saw in the photo. Now I know him in reality. So this is what is called conscious adhyāropa. I should have actually put it there. It is Adhyaaropa-Apavaada, meaning deliberate superimposition and negation together. Yeah. And so similarly, like Shankaracharya gives two more examples. One example, which may be a little bit relevant, is he says somebody at his time, somebody wrote on the thing, like the sand, on the sand or something. He wrote the number 1, and then he wrote the number 0. And he wrote the number 0. So this person immediately, like, the whomsoever was seeing that, he said, oh, this is 100. Meaning that number he realized this is the number 100. This person is showing me in that figure. So that figure itself is not 100. That figure is just like, writing in here. So similarly, when we do deliberate superimposition, in this case, what happens is when we say Krishna is that ultimate reality, when we say Krishna is that Parabrahman, we say. How do we say now we are superimposing that this form Krishna, which I have an image or a photo or an idol today. This image of Krishna is that supreme reality. So anybody who comes to my house knows that this is just an idol. But in that idol, I put this thought that this is that supreme reality. So this is how, all our gods are worshipped, right, in temples. In that idol, we have put that conscious, deliberate idea that this idol is that supreme reality. So this later on, when we have that personal kind of experience of Bhagavan, or when we connect to a much higher level in some experiential way, like how in this case Arjuna connects to that Vishwarupa Darshana. He realizes this form Krishna is not that ultimate thing in the form base, but yet he is that thing. He's a pointer to that. So similarly, that idol I can take consciously as a pointer to that supreme reality if I want to. Or a picture. A picture I can take as a conscious. But at the ultimate level of knowledge, I know that it is not that idol itself which is that supreme reality. That is also negated.
So Guruji, it means we are just limiting ourselves when we see the photo, like for the example, but it is much beyond.
Yeah. So you are limiting in a conscious way. So this is why it is called consciously. You are consciously saying that this Bhagavan is here, but yet you are not, in a way, you are imposing that supreme reality in that form. So it is limiting, but yet it is going beyond that limit at the same time. So it is a useful means for sadhana, useful means for knowledge. That is what is the whole. It is called as a prakriya. Prakriya means it is a methodology. It is a useful method for our sadhana.
Guruji, Saguna Brahman, you told me. Can you explain on that?
So saguna means, guna means like these attributes, like this, we say in a more generic say, this person has this skill, this attribute, this personality, all these are gunas also. In a more detailed way, it means like this is the like sattva, rajas, tamas guna. But in a day-to-day language, it is like if somebody is a truthful speaking person. We say this person has this truthful guna. So here, when we say Saguna as Paramatma, he has the highest, purest, and the most, what do you call, like an adorable gunas. It's like like you say, let's say, also sometimes, in our thing, generally we like to think of it that way, that the God is the most loving, God is the most thing. But in some cases, we also take very fierce forms, like Narasimha-avatara. So Narasimha-avatara is that fierce, rajasic kind of form of Lord. It is sattvic, but it is also very rajasic, meaning it's very aggressive, right? So any form, saguna means with gunas, with attribute. So the reality of God, the reality of Brahman it is beyond all attributes. It doesn't have any attributes. I mean, it is unconditioned. It is not limited by any attributes. It can take any form. It can be rajasic, it can be tamasic, it can be sattvic. At choice, it can take any form. So this is what I said, that nirguna can become saguna. There is any point. But the reality of saguna is that nirguna. I hope I'm not confusing with all this language.
Yeah, got it, Guruji.
Okay, good. Okay, all right, we'll say our closing prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Narayanaya. Okay, just one thing.